What's happening, friends? What's happening, friends? Mr. Trump, baby. Good to see you all. Mr. Trump, baby. Dun, dun, dun. What's happening, my friends? Good to see you. Vali, John Williams, my friend is back. Good to see you again. Thomas, Stank. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. AB Gamer, Daniel Burger, Shipley. Good to see you all. Let's get the party started. Yes. Let's get the party started here. Let me fix my screen real quick. Let me see if it's... Let me fix this real quick. And then we actually... What happened here? What happened here? What happened here? There we go. Boom. A lot of things to discuss today, my friends. Good to see you all. We're going to talk about the Trump saga. What has happened here? But before we start, we need to kick off some music, because otherwise, you know, the party can get rolling. What a moves on gold today. Damn. What a moves on gold. I hope you guys are profited from this move here. We will talk about what's happening right now. We are seeing the most interesting price action. Anyways, welcome back. Play the room, baby. It's about to blow. New week, baby. Let's go. Smash up the like button, jeez. Just smash up the like button. All right. Good to see you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure to host you on the live streams here. I will be here 5 days a week, 8 a.m. EST, making sure you guys are updated in regards to what is currently happening in the market, specifically gold. But of course, we have to talk about a lot more stuff than just gold right now, because it's all interconnected. So we're going to go over this here. I'm going to make sure that we have at least a really good foundation. And we're going to do a little recap of last week as well, of how we closed the Friday. Most of you guys were there yesterday or Friday. You know exactly what happened here. And what we did after that as well. So we have to cover that. And then, of course, we're going to give you guys a top-down analysis, right? A full breakdown of where we are with gold here. Gold dropped around, what, 8-9%. Asian session, London session, and then we saw the reversal here. And now, of course, we know why we saw that push to the upside, with the dollar, of course, dropping as well here. So we have a lot of things to discuss here. If you guys are excited for this week, press a 1 in the chat. And again, for all the free education, man, I would highly appreciate if you could just smash up that like button. It would help my channel grow. That's pretty much the only thing that would help me. in return, okay? That would be the only real thing that would help me tremendously, is just smashing up that like button for me, and then we move forward, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good to see you last time. John Sparks, every day I see you in the chat, man, with some great feedback. I really appreciate that, my friend. Very good comments, very good feedback, and very transparent. I love that. Thank you so much. IJ Vanuren, Timbo Slice, you too. Zane, Ida de Vries, same for you. Nabil. A lot of you guys that I see here on a consistent basis here. We're building a beautiful core, my V's. We're building a fantastic core, okay? So what is the goal? The goal is to trade. The goal is to trade, but the goal is also to just do things wisely, to stick to our rules and to our processes, because that's the only way I can consistently become profitable over time. All right? That doesn't mean I'm in every single trade, but it means that I'll make money over time because your boy has to pay the freaking rent. Okay. Now that's all clear and out of the window here, let's go deeper into everything that we have been seeing right now on Trump. Well, we're going to talk about everything, guys, like the Iran stuff right here. I marked a couple things out already for you guys here. To quickly sum it up, right, the quick summary of Trump was the US and Iran have had, over the last 2 days, a very good and productive conversation regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. All right, so this is very interesting, as we have been waiting 48 hours or so, or longer, for this to come. And I'm happy it came before this New York session, actually. So this is very interesting here. Then he also put a post out where he stated that I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East, and based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I've instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump here. So this is, of course, by default, very important news. We have probably seen, okay, one of the largest pushes down on the dollar here. Look at how we have been coming down with gold pretty much the whole session, and how in one candle, and I'm saying this very clearly here, in one 15-minute candle, we came up around 200 points, okay? 200 points in one 50-minute candle, or it was a 5-minute candle, which is, of course, roughly speaking on the spot chart, around 2,000 pips, okay? 2,000 pips. Just think about it. Put it in perspective for a second here. When I was streaming on YouTube 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and I was trading gold, okay? And we had a good trade together on stream. We had usually around, what, a 150 to 200 pip trade, and that was a big trade, okay? That was a big trade. The fact that this in 5 minutes now equals a 2,000 pip candle shows you how volatile the metal sector is at this current moment, how volatile gold is currently. Okay, so a lot of things have changed over the last 2 years, and this is very clearly reflected, of course, in these big volatile movements that we're seeing on gold right here. Okay, so obviously dollar dropped after that news significantly. Why? Because of the fact that this is positive, right? And if there is more fear in the market, people are tending to sell off their stocks, to buy bonds, right, which pushed the dollar up stronger. And with some good news, which everyone was waiting for, the dollar finally came down a little bit here, as well as oil. Look at oil. Oil dropped, roughly speaking, from 100 all the way down to as low as 84, okay? So that is roughly around a 17% correction. We're now pulling back a little bit, so we're going to talk about, you know, the trading scenarios and everything that comes with that here. So you understand, of course, in full of why, you know, this is so important right now. But yeah, that's oil. Oil has been dropping as well here. This is, of course, favorable for gold here. Now, I want to show you, before I kick it off, with some fundamental data, which I think is very interesting, because many of you guys know that I've written a book, okay? And that book is called The LTA Concepts Trading War Map, all right? It is a book that we share for free, that we actually share with people in the chat for free as well. It's a book that I've written. It's a 330-page book. It's about the volume profile. It's about the execution models that we utilize. But it's also about the fundamentals, okay? And this is what I want to talk about today, because we're looking at a couple of very interesting things, which actually, if you would pay attention to this data, you could see already by default a potential reversal coming, okay? I understand it's very, very hard to time reversals when there is, news like that. But if you just put everything together, you will see how interesting it is that these signals that I'm going to show you in a second here are actually already there, or they were already there. Potential reversal signals on the dollar were already there beforehand, okay? So we're going to go over this as well here. And then we move back towards gold. We do a top-down analysis, and then we're just going to go over the best possible scenarios. We're going to use some order flow. We're going to see where are the most buyers and sellers active, where do we have control, and how can we then get into potential scenarios and setups as well here, right? That's what I'm looking for. How can I get into a good trade built around this, all right? Now, before I go into all the fundamental data and go over the top-down analysis here, I quickly want to let you show what we talked about Friday, because Friday we actually took a long position earlier in the stream, right? And we saw that during that trade, of course, the trade didn't play out. We wanted to see a potential bounce earlier. And then, gold dropped, gold dropped further. And my bias was completely invalidated from that moment here. And this was a very important lesson for myself, because again, what I've learned was that you should never be stuck to your bias. If you get invalidated for the right reasons, then you should accept the fact that you're invalidated. And that simply means that if you are invalidated, you should in essence be invalidated in a way where the reversal could continue, okay? That could be a good invalidation. So for example, when I think about stop losses, I also think about, besides having a stop loss, right, just utilize the understanding of an invalidation in that, okay? So we can actually understand that when we're invalidated, then we might actually look for a continuation play, okay? So this is something that we talked about right here. We lost the trade here. We then said at the end of the stream that we would place a limit order at the 4612, right? The 4612 and the 4641, if I'm correct, the 4641? No, sorry, the 4644. All right, so we had these two levels right there. This one was obviously in the point of control of a range. We used the volume profile and we wait for the pullback. And if you look at where we actually tapped into, then indeed we pulled back into the 4614. Okay, the 4614. So very, very close to the point of control. And then, yeah, we pretty much continued to sell off here. So I think this was a good example of how we follow through, right? And how we just accept and defeat. And from that moment onwards, don't utilize that, oh, we lost the trade, so everything is now game over. No, we have additional information now, and we are invalidated. So this is the next step. This is plan B, okay? And this is how we follow up with our strategy. And I think that's the best way of dealing with a certain approach as well. So beautiful Friday was a very important lesson, and eventually a very good closure upon that as well here, okay? Now, in regards to the dollar, because this is where it all started, of course. If the dollar comes down, it will be more beneficial for gold. All right, so let's go over the dollar here. And let me show you some very important data, because there are some things that we actually talk about here. Let me actually just put on a very chill song here. Let me just get this party. There we go. Yes. We're keeping it chill. We're keeping it chill in this explanation here. All right. Across the action rotas, I took buys on 5150 and stop was 5100. Lows were 5099. Damn. All right. Everyone said, be careful. The Iranian news agency said we didn't talk to Trump. It could be a Trump ploy. We have to wait and see how that goes here. All right, step by step. But anyways, guys, when we talk about our fundamental data here, I highly recommend you to download my book for free. You know, there are no secret layers behind the book. No, this is a book. You can get it for free. You can really read it if you're interested in the weekends. Go through it, right? Understand the reason of what I'm doing here on stream. It's not just only about the execution. It's also about bias, the higher time frame, some fundamental data. So if that's something that intrigues you, then this is a book that you definitely should be reading, okay? But anyways, we talk about our COT data. And one of the things that we use here is commitment of traders. This is what the COT data means. And it shows you exactly how different market participants are actually positioned in the market. All right, so every week we get an update and we have a free indicator that you can use as well. I created this indicator for free. Okay, you just type in commitments of traders on TradingView right here. All right, commitment of traders, around 1,500 people are using this right now at the moment. Okay, this is a COT indicator on TradingView for free, which shows you how the market participants are actually positioned in the market here. And on the dollar, we could see something very interesting here, that in the week of the 17th of March, right, last week, we could see that the smart money, we call them the smart money. You will see in the book why we call them the smart money. This is in the section market sentiment on page number 76. Everything is explained in this book here. Okay, it will take you about an hour to read through, maybe, or 30 minutes. But what we can see is that the smart money was offloading, okay, a lot of their longs and adding a lot of short positions to their holdings around the dollar here, okay? Why is this important? Well, the fact that we are with the dollar in higher time frame resistance, okay, from a technical perspective. So now it's no longer just a weekly supply zone. It's no longer a resistance area. It is actually an area with relevance, with context, with nuance. It comes from real data behind just the candlestick charts, right? External data that has nothing to do with the candlesticks themselves. It's the COT data from the CFTC, right? The Futures Trading Commission that reports the data of all the positions of all market participants every single week. And we gave it to you for free in this indicator right there. You just type in commitment of traders on TradingView and you can add it to your TradingView as well here, okay? Now, you can see that this is a very unique situation where this happened before we saw today's news. How interesting. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, funny enough, these things happen a lot. And over the last couple of years, I've been seeing these things over and over again. We're getting signals right here that something is up, right? Somebody already knows something, okay? Someone already knows something, and then news comes out. And then it's, oh, wow, it's so random. It's so obvious. Wow, okay, amazing. Well, that's not what we're seeing here, okay? At the same time, you can see that the red line right there, okay, is the retail trader, okay? The retail trader has been very bullish while being in that resistance here on the higher time frame as well here. So this is the smart money versus the dumb money, but unfortunately, the retail trader is usually on the wrong side, okay? You can see that right here. When retail is bullish, we usually top out. When retail is bullish, we usually top out, right? And these are real signals on the higher time frame, right? This is not for your entries. This is for your buys. I just want to clarify this very well, guys. This is not for your entry, okay? This is for your bias, unless you are a swing trader or anything that have been on the higher time frame. But it helps you with creating a macro bias, right? This is the start of your top-down analysis. I hope this is clear, right? It's not a tool for your entries. We have another execution model for that, which is on the lower time frame, which is all built around the volume profile, right? All about volume, all about the volume profile, completely different execution, but it helps you with creating a bias. So that's on the dollar. Now, if you go to the euro, which is of course negatively correlated with the dollar, okay? And we go to the euro and we go to the large banks and institutions in their holdings, look at how much or how many, okay, contracts that have been closing, okay? That means there was a contract expiration, and if there's a contract expiration, it usually means that also reversals could come to fruition as well here. So you could see that on the euro, we're in that weekly demand zone, and we're actually respecting that higher time frame support on the euro as well here. So all these signals leading towards potential reversal on the dollar right there, okay? Now, if you go to the dollar and we go to the dollar, we go to the 12-hour, the daily time frame, then what we can see here very clearly is that we are actually getting rejected from today a 12-hour supply zone, okay? So what happened was, you can see it very, very clearly, right? We tapped into that weekly supply. Then we created a 12-hour supply zone, Right here, a rally-based drop. We got respected. We created another one. We dropped again. We pulled back. And today's news, guess what happened? We pulled into that higher time frame supply zone, right? And right when we tapped into that supply zone, guess what happened? The news came out. Mr. Trump, with his beautiful news, came out right when we tapped into 12-hour supply. How interesting. Okay, how interesting is this around the dollar here? Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because if you understand what the dollar does and what the 10-year yield does, we can also understand what gold might be doing as well here, okay? Now, the last and final fundamental layer, which I want to show you here, is on the gold chart, okay? And this is where we have to go to gold. And I want to show you something super important because there is one more tool that we use sometimes, okay, not always, from a higher time frame perspective, and this is called cyclical analysis, the higher time frame seasonality, okay? And if you go here to seasonality, then there are real patterns, real cyclical analysis, real patterns that over time tend to repeat themselves, okay? There are periods when gold tends to be strong, there are periods when gold tends to be weak, and if you build an indicator around that data where you can actually measure what gold did over the last 10 years, and when the gold was strong and when gold was potentially weak, then you could per exact find the right moments in the market where the higher time frame would potentially shift, okay? And if we go to one of our indicators right here that we created for that here, you can see that right there. You can actually see that we kind of predicted a potential bottom today. And this is what we saw as well on the 28th of January when the top was predicted as well here. It's not perfect, okay? It's not the magic sauce, but you can definitely see that we have to pay a lot of attention towards these potential cycle bottoms and cycle tops here, okay? So over time, you can see that we kind of expect some sort of bounce, maybe some follow through to the downside later on. But this is very important data here. So put all of these things together, understand that gold dropped extremely aggressively today. And we, of course, tapped as well in a weekly demand zone, all right? So we tapped into a weekly demand zone right around there. And just a major support area, which is around the 50 or 4,100 to 4,000, okay? That's kind of a major support for gold here. And we also are kind of respecting a trend that we have been building as well right here. So we have a trend that we are building or that we're very close to. And overall, you guys can kind of see how strong and aggressively we came down here, how that news came out, and how a lot of this news already was kind of seen and talked about, okay? So yes, there are ways besides news to understand what is actually happening in the market. And this is why I initially expected a potential reversal here already, okay? But now it's all about the confirmation. So now we have some sort of confirmation here, but we have so much more additional context that I believe very confidently that we could potentially start looking for reversal plays over time here. Now, does it mean, guys, and I just want to be very, very clear, I just wanted to share this information with you, okay? Because I think it's important for you to understand this as of our macro bias, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to short gold when we're seeing opportunities. It doesn't mean that we're not going to look for longs, right? I'm going to look for shorts. I'm going to look for longs with the right confirmation. We're going to use order flow for that. But I just always, regardless if I would be a scalper, an intraday trader, a day trader, a swing trader, you name it, I do want to learn, I do want to get better, and I do want to understand what is actually happening in the marketplace, okay? So this is why I've spent years trying to figure this out and see how it might impact the overall market here, okay? So build around this. What are we going to do here? Well, number one, all right, because of this news being so fresh right now, I do think it's very important to give it a bit of room, to give it a bit of space to let the structure develop itself, right? To not rush into new trades immediately today, right now. But that we kind of wait a little bit, maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes. Let's see how long it takes and how much volume we actually have right now to kind of see what price will actually do here. Because at this moment, yes, we did have a fantastic breakout on gold, of course, or sorry, a fantastic bounce on gold here. But at the same time, we can all agree, I think, right now, that with Trump and with him speaking, And with all the data and news that just came out here and that major dump that we've seen in Asia, keep in mind, guys, this was one of the largest moves to the downside here in a single Asian session. Almost 10%, okay? Almost 10% on gold. That is roughly a $2 trillion offload, a $2 trillion market cap decrease, okay? It's a huge amount, all right? So we're seeing that major support now being hit here, which is great. We tapped into major support here, that major demand zone right there. This is already a good start. We are severely undervalued, of course, around the dollar as well here on the daily time frame. So we're seeing all these signals here, but at the same time, we can kind of see that the 4-hour right now is facing a little bit of resistance right here, right? We're just cooling down from the news, and we can actually see right now very, very clearly that we are reacting in a positive way, and the dollar is reacting more bearish, and that we actually can see currently that we're kind of finding that equilibrium, right? We're kind of finding the middle, but at this moment I can definitely see, okay, the dollar has shifted. We tapped into higher time frame resistance, exactly where we wanted to see rejection. We got a rejection, and we're potentially seeing that follow through actually happening here. So my question here will be to you guys here: what is your current opinion around gold right now? I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm curious to your opinion here. I want the chat. You know, I know you guys in the chat here. You guys are traders. You guys have been trading already for a while. At least most of you guys that I know here. You guys have been trading for a while here. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about currently on gold, and if you can have like an objective opinion here, right? This is a stream where we do not have any ego. I want to be very, very clear on that. Okay, my G? We have no egos here, right? We're just chilling. Yeah? I'm just chilling. I'm having fun, making some money trading. We're talking back and forth. We're passionate about what we're doing here together, okay? No egos involved. Just wanted to clarify that. We're not better. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. We're just chilling. We're just having fun here. So let's keep it in that pace. I would appreciate this here. Is there a bullish divergence on gold on the 4-hour? Actually, not really at this current moment. We're kind of, kind of samey. Sorry. We actually have a bullish divergence here, but it's kind of neutral. Okay, we're not pushing up higher in terms of the value, but price is moving down. So yes, in theory, you could actually say this. That's correct. That's completely correct here. John Sparks, he says, I honestly have absolutely no clue if we're going to be bullish or bearish today or this week. No clue. All right, cat bounce back down, relief. EL says, I just don't trust it yet. Trump is so senile. Yeah, we do have, of course, the New York Stock Exchange open up here. I think the volume will speak a lot of, we'll share with a lot of information that we could utilize here. So that's definitely interesting. To be really honest with you, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I'm liking the news here. I like that it aligns with my previous analysis here. Okay. This is actually an analysis that I've already done in my private group. We're currently closed for new members. So you know, we're not here to sell you anything or whatever. But this is something that I've done in the private group market here. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. So we went through pretty much a 2-hour session together where we actually talked over all these layers already. And we're kind of expected a potential reversal. And the fact that we're seeing a reversal now was the confirmation to say, hey, we might do indeed see a little bit of follow through here, but we're going to use the order flow for that in order to actually get there. Okay, we need to see some bullish structure getting formed, getting shaped. We need to see some trapped sellers. We need to see, you know, some aggressive buyers stepping into the market here. That is what I would love to see right now on Goldie in order for me to say, hey, this might be very, very good here. I'm actually liking what I'm seeing already, to be honest. I'm liking the structure right now. Okay, I'm actually liking it already. I can see how much selling took place right above the VWAP right now, and how we're actually already holding above a bunch of sellers here. I would not be surprised if this kind of would flip bullish, actually, to be honest with you. The 5 minute seems a bit undervalued against the dollar as well here. So this might be actually, you know, it might be actually a bit interesting right now, by the way. Idali says, just like you said, we wait and see and let the market come to us. I agree. Yeah. What about a quick scalping, guys? What about a quick scalpy here? You know what I mean? I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm thinking, you know what? How big is this move here? Where can I actually, what could be potential level? The 4455. Back to the highs. How much is that? 65 points. And how much is the downside? Yeah, the downside, that's a bit of the issue here. That is a little bit of the issue. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this would actually try to retest the highs here, to be honest with you. Just like you said, we wait and see and let the market come to us. Yassine says, been awake since the first hour of Asia. We are on a counter trend buys before we go pro trend sells. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm quite bullish today. I'm actually kind of this reversal was so aggressive, guys. Today's candle was so aggressive, and the fact that we're actually trying to break back above this particular range here. I just want to show you guys something, because this is actually very, very interesting. It's actually the swing high from today, okay, to the swing low right here. And then we use a tool called the fixed range volume profile. We mark it out from the high to the low. And then we get right here a red line. And that is the point of control here. And this is what we call the swing POC here. Whenever I see something like this aggressively, I can confidently see that buyers are now in control here. Okay, buyers are now stepping in control, because throughout this whole swing, the most volume was traded in the middle. Okay. This is where the battle between buyers and sellers took place. And we managed to break above that. Okay, we managed to break above that level where the most volume was executed. And we pulled back and we actually turned that into support. And we're now kind of respecting that area here. So this gives us some sort of, cushion or safety pillow at this current moment. At the same time, we see that we're kind of seeing an undervaluation here. So I would not be surprised if we actually will retest the highs here, guys, to be really honest with you. And try to break back, above. I'm actually seeing right now some follow through and not that much resistance at this current moment, at least here. So that is short term. That is just a quick kind of scalping scenario I'm looking at here. Let me just quickly mark this out. For the overall, right? The overall bigger picture, if you take this on the 50-minute time frame, obviously a larger pull deck would be appreciated if you manage to pull back into one of these areas here for, a potential follow through, right? So we can actually create some sort of W formation, giving the dollar a chance to pull back and fill, right? Seeing these rejection wicks on the dollar and then make that rollover. But for now, I think that we're going to actually hold up really well at this current moment. Just looking at the order flow, seeing how these sellers here got trapped aggressively. I just don't think the risk to reward is perfect right there. I think that I would love to see a little bit more of a retracement, but I would love to see this actually holding here. The 4375 is actually something I would love to see holding here. And then I'll make a decision if I can get into an entry with like a relatively high risk to reward ratio in a smaller range. Okay, which is pretty much the high and the lows here. Something like that. Yeah. That would be the short-term opportunity. When it comes down to the actual New York Stock Exchange, we'll have to wait and see, right? When the real volume comes back again here. It's going to be a very interesting New York Stock Exchange session as well. We all know why, right? The news just came out and the stock market will open up in around an hour from now. Overall, guys, I must say you guys have been giving fantastic feedback here. Fantastic feedback. I appreciate that. Good job. Really good. QNX says it looks like we're either going to create a new high or low of the day. We are definitely in the middle of a range, so we should definitely wait until an hour or after the 9 a.m. open. It's looking pretty decent. It's looking pretty healthy right now. Dollar is looking still very, very weak. Oil is slowing down again. I think this is going to help gold right now as well, by the way. If oil just keeps it steady and it's looking a bit weaker here. Same for the U. It's super weak as well here. Super weak as well here. Yeah. Interesting pullback. I have a question. How are you so patient in taking trades? I know exactly what kind of subs I'm looking for personally. I'm still trading almost every day. So it's not that I never trade, right? I trade every day. I have my trades. I have my rules. And it works for me. It works for me, okay? I realize when to be patient here. And I think the more trades you take, the more, I would not say experience you have. Well, maybe actually yes, to be honest. The more experience you have, you kind of learn to deal with some big losses, some losses as well. You understand that a lot of your mistakes could have easily been avoided by just sitting your hands and waiting for the right setups to come to you instead of chasing the market down here. This is one of the things that I've learned, which I kind of like. Giving us room to develop here, all right? Especially now with Trump and all that news is it just came along here. Yeah, a beautiful point of control here. I made a video about this as well. You can find on my IG where we talk about this exact setup, this exact structure. And why this is considered bullish, more bullish than bearish at least. That's for sure. Sue says, man, gold is so volatile right now. Remember, 200 pips will take at least 3 hours. These were the good old times, my friend. Absolutely crazy, but it's true. It's so true. It's so true. Gold is the new Bitcoin. Or gold is the new crypto. That's for sure. Yeah. After that much dump, I still don't have confidence in buying. Yeah, I can kind of understand this. Of course, a lot of people are, very hesitant right now. I completely get where this is coming from. Because gold has been dropping so much and so long, and there was just not a single bullish day. Right, and we've been really trying to see how gold is behaving here. This is the 4th bearish week, okay? And this was, I believe, or is, I believe, the almost 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles. Out of 12 candles, only 2 of them were bullish. And out of these 2 bullish candles, okay, they were either doji candles, small wicks, long wicks with a small body, or a reversed hammer candle, okay? So pretty much only bearish pressure here, only sell side pressure for the past, 12 days already, for the past 2 weeks. So, it's very hard to become bullish when you see that much downside pressure here. But there are some good signs right now, that's for sure. Yeah, overall, I think this is kind of bullish right now. We talked about it, right? We said, okay, this is where the sellers got trapped here. You see this push up here. Like I said, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to get there. To get towards the highs again. Which software are you using? This is called Xau Charts, okay? Xau Charts. Such a good platform, guys. Such a good platform. If you get a payout or you are funded or you actually get some a good payout or whatever the case may be, or you can afford it, I highly recommend to invest in something like this here if you have the capital for it, of course. If not, we'll talk about it on the live streams every day, okay? Every day. Any opportunities right now? Yeah, this is what we just talked about right here. When we were here, we said, hey, we will most likely go back towards the highs here. We'll most likely get back towards the highs here because we have broken above the point of control. We retested it right here, and we are bounced from higher time frame support, right? We created a breakout with low volume. We pulled back. Dollar is still weak. We were undervalued, and yeah, the order flow is selling us as well. That we had some trapped sellers sitting there that we respected here. So I think we can get towards the 4455, which is the local highs here. Okay. It's the local highs here. This is kind of what I'm waiting for now. See if this plays out as well here. Not that far away. For the big move here, which I'm actually waiting for, anticipating for, is of course the 9 a.m. opening candle and the New York Stock Exchange, which will open also very, very soon. So definitely not looking bearish at this current moment. What do you think about the weekly change of character? Does it signal for the weekly buzz to be tested? Yeah, if you go to the higher time frame, of course, guys, we can all acknowledge right now that we have some major resistance sitting up there, right? Which is sitting all the way back up at the 5,000 mark. All the way back up at the 5,000 mark, we have some major resistance. But at this moment, I don't think it's... I really don't like to think about, oh, we most likely will pull back. There is so much that can happen in the next coming days, you know, weeks ahead of us here, that I'm not here trying to predict a pullback into weekly supply right there and then say, oh, we're going to pull back into this. And after that, we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. No one really truly knows what's going to happen with Trump, with all the news in the next coming months, you know, weeks ahead of us here. So what I like to do here now is to just look at day by day, utilize the information that we have, and actually try to look at it level by level, pretty much. Level by level, session by session, and day by day to see how price develops here. And every day we get a bit smarter because we have the data from the previous day, right? We use the data from the previous day to determine our current daily bias. So yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing right now here. We're not that far. We're not that far towards the highs right now, okay? So if you guys listened here, you were actually a bit more aggressive, then this could have been a very nice long towards the highs right there. It made all the sense in the world here. Of course, if you had a little bit more of an aggressive approach today around the news. We're going to wait for the 9 a.m. candle here and then the 9:30 New York Stock Exchange open. And that hopefully gives us the volume for the larger move here. Okay? Ryan, hi Lorenzo, are you back with the regular live YouTube streams? Yes, my man, we are fully back. Steve, my G, welcome to the channel. It's a pleasure meeting you, my friend. Pleasure meeting you. Okay? A pleasure meeting you. But yes, we are back in full, my man. We are fully back in the game here. We have been building up our, you know, we're building back up here. Has been an absolute pleasure to be back on the streams. This is the third week. All right, this is already week 3 or the beginning of week 3. Since we're back here 5 days a week right now. And they're really enjoying it so far. Absolutely. Just closed my longs, 280 points. Nice, congrats. Congratulations. All right, that's amazing to hear. That is amazing to hear. Yeah, Friday we had also a lot of very nice opportunities here. So eventually, you know, you can lose a trade and then boom, revert your bias and capitalize hard, right? So one loss, which equals a -1R, you know, and then winning a 4R setup is a 3R profit, okay? A 3R profit. So if you risk 1%, you make 3% net, which is very nice. To be honest, on the personal account, we risk a little bit more than 1%. But anyways, I think 1% is a bit too low. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I believe really in this idea and this strategy so much. And I've been testing it so much that I know what may, roughly speaking, what I can handle in terms of my, my losing streaks, my winning streaks. And I kind of calculated a risk structure around that. Okay, we're now at resistance here. So now we have to pay attention here to how price actually develops, because this is where beforehand we got rejected aggressively after the news came out. Okay, so this is an important moment. I would not be surprised if we might even sweep these highs and then react. But for now, we are in resistance here, so we do have to pay attention. So if you indeed listen to this idea, trading idea, it was just a trading idea, then this might be a right moment to be a bit more careful or patient, or observe how the candle behaves here. Especially this 5-minute candle. I think it's a very important candle to look at right now, just to see how it behaves here. Right? How do we respond here? Does volume come in? Yes or no? Do we see a immediate rejection here? All these things matter. And we'll pay attention to this, okay? All right, so far so good. So far more bullish than bearish. Dollar is still on the weaker side here. Tether, the 10-year yield, which is connected to the dollar strength, is also dropping, so that's healthy. When these things are aligned, that's usually good. And it allows us to actually be more bullish on the dollar here. And oil is dropping too, right? Oil is getting wrecked at this moment as well here. So that's also more beneficial to gold as well here, right? Pretty much all of these things, guys, are interconnected with each other, okay? And this is why I created my own watch list, which I think you should be looking at as well. You can actually create a watch list in your trading view very, very easily. And what I do for the stream here, I call this my stream watch list, but I actually use it all the time. Because I trade gold and sometimes the NQ, right? I put them all in a list. So I have the dollar, I have the 10-year yield, which is the yield up on the dollar. So when people buy bonds, right, they create a yield on the dollar, and that actually strengthens the dollar. Then we have gold, of course. We have gold futures, we have gold spot. Then we have the Nasdaq, the stock market, and the volatility index, right? When the volatility index is bearish, it's usually good for, the stock market, like the Nasdaq. And then we have oil, silver, Bitcoin, and the euro, okay? Oil, silver, Bitcoin, and the euro. And the reason why I put them all together is because once they are all together, I can quickly see the whole sentiment of the overall market. So for example, if the dollar is bearish, right? And I see oil dropping now in this time, I can already see, hey, this is probably going to be good for gold. This is probably going to be good for the Nasdaq, okay? So I can get a really good and quick idea here of how the sentiment is shaped and how price has been moving and what potentially is actually happening here by just sneaking on this watch list. And it's very helpful. Hey guys, just joined the stream. Do we know what caused the bullish move? Yes, this was all Trump news, my friend. This was all Trump news. We talked about it at the beginning of this stream. And after that Trump news, we talked about some higher time frame fundamental reasons of why we believe that this was already predicted in some way, and how we actually tapped into higher time frame resistance on the dollar right when the news came out. How convenient. How convenient. And then it was all about the execution model. So you could see the range. We used the volume profile, which is a tool that we use. And then the order flow for the confirmation of trapped sellers right there. That's a good example, okay? We're just here to help you guys, to inform you of these layers here. Macro fundamentals to the macro technicals, down to the volume profile on the lower time frame. And then the order flow for some confirmation trade ideas. How are traders actually positioned, right? Are there more aggressive buyers? Are there more sellers? Who is in control? Who is trapped? At what level? And then we can quickly predict a very nice short-term outcome here. All right. Lorenzo, the CVD is showing negative in thousands still. Yes, that is correct. But it does actually means right now that there is a large absorption taking place here. All right. So that means that a lot of these sellers that you are seeing below here, are all trapped and stuck in their short position. Okay? So a negative delta does not necessarily mean that it's bearish. Okay? It can also mean that there are a lot of trapped sellers right now, which is bullish. So it all depends on the context. It all depends on the context. Okay? 7 minutes for the hourly. Okay, the hourly is going to be very, very key here. Are we able to close above these highs right there? Specifically, I would love to see closure above the 4,500. Right? The 4,500 would be actually very, very good. Can you please show the volume profile indicator settings? Yes. For you always, my man. Settings 128 to 70. Okay, I think the standard, I don't know what the standard is, but we use 128. It gives a little bit more of a fine overview. And we have been using the volume profile on TradingView on futures forever. Even on the Wanda on gold. And it has been working very, very well. Very well. Road hit, my G. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome to the streams. Yeah, so right here we could see that we were seeing bullish structure. Price got respected very well. We are now taking out the highs right around there. The price came up higher, which is great. We are now back above the highs, and now we are dealing with a closure. Very soon we're dealing with an hourly closure as well. And that will probably give us a lot more context in regards to how we will actually close this candle here. And it seems to be very, very strong. Okay, it seems to be a serious reversal play. But I still anticipate at least some sort of pullback at some point in time. And usually when the pullbacks occur, yeah, you could say it's around the New York Stock Exchange open here. So we will pay attention to this. We will pay attention to this. Okay, we will pay attention to see if we can find any pullbacks here. This is why we were talking about a potential scalp. If you were interested in scalping, that would have been a nice one right there, taking out the highs. But now that's done, I think that the larger the real move will be shown very, very soon, or hopefully it will be shown very, very soon. That's kind of what we're waiting for here. Yeah, what are the next key levels or critical key levels here? We used yesterday's range. We have a couple of levels here that we have to look at, for example. Number one is, of course, the 45.25, which is the daily open. Okay, pretty much the daily open here. Sorry, not the daily open. The daily highs. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, not the daily open. The daily highs. Okay, that's going to be an area of interest for sure. The daily highs will be an important zone as well here at 4537. We already have surpassed the open right here. Okay, we've already surpassed the open right now at the moment here. Frank says, Owenda is having many technical issues last week. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Price just stops, right? Out of nowhere. Stops working. Yeah, man. My suggestion, if you can afford to pay an extra $7 a month, right? If you can afford it, then do so. I recommend you to do it here. Because even when I traded Vantage, right, for example, which I still do on gold, spot, I still look at the futures charts as well here because it just helped me fine-tune my entries. It really did. Okay, and it's not expensive. If you trade gold, I think it's even cheaper. It's like literally a couple dollars a month. Of course, if you can afford it, then it's something I would recommend to do, right? Definitely look at some futures charts as well here. Even if you trade spot, it helps you with fine-tuning your entries. Because this is the real centralized, the centralized data. Yeah, the 4,500. That's a level that we had in mind before already. We were talking about it. Me and my girlfriend. We were talking about the 4,500. She's a trader too. She is a trader too. She made around, I don't know if I can say this on stream, but she made some money today. She made some money today. Longing gold, actually. Yeah, okay, so right now, hourly candle, right? That's the only thing I'm waiting for, the hourly candle closure. Where do we close? How do we close? And so far, so good. Very strong. On the 50-minute, we're seeing some sellers coming in at the top here. On the gold candle, the last 50-minute gold candle, we're seeing some sellers coming in. But at the same time, if we close above that, right, above these sellers right here, watch what happens if we close in 1 minute above these sellers. If we actually close that candle above it here, how this immediately, okay, immediately can be turned into support here. It actually can be. So to pull back and literally go for the daily highs right away. I would not be surprised if this would actually happen here. Dollar is still tanking. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that reaction right now. What time is it in your area? Right now here, it's 9 p.m. It is 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. Did you tell trading to everyone around you? Now, my girlfriend is a trader. We actually met somewhere, but she was already trading. She was already trading gold. My mother is a funded trader. My mother is 65 years old. She's a funded top step trader. Yes. Okay, we close this candle right now. Hourly candle as well here. We do want to see bottom wick getting formed, right? We do want to see some bottom wick getting formed. Sellers are trying to creep in here. What if we break and flip the highs here? Will we go for the daily highs immediately? Let's see. Is there that momentum? Is there that momentum? Hourly candle just opened up here. We still haven't broken above that major resistance though, right? That major resistance is still sitting at the 4495. We still haven't closed above that. So we might will see a little bit of a reaction here, especially at the beginning of this hourly candle. But right now, I would love to see pullback. I would love to see a deeper pullback. I think it's going to come at some point. Right? But let's see where this candle closes as well. This next candle. A lot of sellers are coming now in. A lot of selling. Definitely want to see a pullback here. Okay. Now we have taken out the highs here. That was kind of our initial idea, right? Taking out the highs. And now the question is, are we going to pull back? I hope so. I hope so. That would be nice. That would be the best scenario. All that red means selling, right? All that red in this candle means selling. That's the difference between a candle itself right here, a Japanese candlestick we call them, and the actual orders in that candle, okay? You can actually see where in that candle the most volume was traded. You can see where in that candle where the most sellers were active, where the most buyers were active, how the candle closed. And within the footprint chart, there's one thing that I've learned is that candle closures are crucial. And this is what I took away from the footprint chart by studying this for so long now, or a year, not that long actually. I'm still learning. Is that these closures are so crucial. Lorenzo, what about a giveaway? Yeah, I think it's going to be time soon for another giveaway, I think. I think we're going to get back on a giveaway train. True. Yeah, let's see what we can do maybe. Maybe we can give away another challenge or anything in that matter, right? That will be amazing. We have been doing this a lot in the past. Giving away challenges. Not necessarily money. You never know, right? You can better teach a person to fish instead of giving him a fish. So you give him a challenge and then some guidance, for example, that is much better than giving him money to trade with. It's not going to work out in most cases. Yeah, I still think the daily high is reasonable by the end of session. I still think it's possible, definitely. Still waiting for some sort of reaction here. I think we're just a bit overvalued right now, and we're having a hard time breaking that initial resistance right here on the hourly time frame. Okay, which is actually this high right there. You can actually see it very, very clearly. It is actually this level right there. Okay, the 4490 is that resistance right there. And we were unable to break and close above that. That would have been a very, very good confirmation. The fact that we didn't might says indeed, okay, we're not ready yet. We might indeed see some sort of pullback here, but it's back to the 5 and 15 minute time frame to see how it goes. Yeah, Trump, man. Imagine being in a trade right before that news comes out, because you never know when it came out. It came out like when, like 7 something, 6:55. Like you could never know exactly when that news would come out. So right now we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the order flow right here. You can see that we were trying on the lower time frame to break out. We couldn't close that hourly candle above that resistance, which is this level right here. Okay, this level right there. This is that major resistance level that we have been seeing. We've been reacting from this level already multiple times yesterday and today. The 4490. We couldn't close an hourly candle above that. We actually failed to do so. And the hourly candle then started to push down here. If you then take this to the 15-minute, you could see that there were a lot of sellers that pushed price down here. And yeah, because we didn't close above the sellers, it kind of led us downwards. Okay. On the 5-minute, you can see that there was some more selling here. These are some trap buyers right now. So sellers were taking control. You can also see that sellers right here stepped in as well here. You can definitely see that sellers now control the lower time frame. That's for sure. Yeah. Inspiration says we need Sleepy Joe back. Facts. From that perspective, from just a market perspective. Yeah. Yeah, the markets were different. The markets are changing. And the beautiful thing about traders, and this is something that you can also see as a positive, okay? You learn a lot during these type of conditions. You do learn a lot of things in the marketplace, okay? It will only turn you into a much more better trader if you can get through at these stages. So I think it's only positive, personally. And I think you can find a lot of ways to make good money in this market as well. And there's one thing that you cannot take away from Trump, and that is volatility and volume. Volatility and volume. There's nothing wrong with volatility and volume if it's timed correctly. All right. Initial scalping to the upside here. Now rejection. Pullback. And I hope the real move starts soon. Yeah, the dollar is also bouncing, of course. The dollar, let's go to the dollar here a little bit on the higher time frame. Let's see if the dollar now is actually at a critical zone. Because we are reacting from the same exact level as before, guys. All right, we have to look at this and say, hey, we reacted from that level beforehand. And so we do now again. So why is that, is the question. Let's mark out a level here. And can we see a reason? Yeah, it's 4-hour zone. Okay, it's 4-hour higher time frame support here. Clearly daily support as well here. Okay, so the dollar is back at the daily support level here. So I do want you to be or pay attention to this a little bit, because yeah, obviously this could, if we bounce strong, put some pressure on gold right now at the moment as well here. So that's an additional confirmation, which can actually confirm why sellers are trying to push price down here on the lower time frame on gold right now as well. That's kind of what we're seeing here. The dollar is holding up really well. That break below that candle, by the way, but break below that line and a closure below that line is actually considered to be really good for gold if you can actually close below this. I really do like this right now at the moment here. Okay, I'm going to be looking at gold as well. If that happens, right, and the dollar is not really pushing further and we see that weakness, I will be looking at some buy limits very soon. I might be looking for some pullback buy limit scenarios. John, I just scalped that previous red 1 minute candle exclusively because of what I saw in the order flow. Whoa, I'll be purchasing Valentini's deep charts tonight. Done deal. Yeah, man, I highly recommend you, if you can test out or take some trials, I highly recommend you to do so if you can, because a lot of platforms are, you know, they're very different. Deep charts is something that takes, in my opinion, personally, a lot of time to optimize visually. Okay, but the platform itself seems like a very, very good platform. I've been testing it out myself as well here. In the end, you're going to just fine tune and find the best platform that works for you, right? There are multiple platforms that you can utilize. I've personally been using Xau charts myself. I'm not selling you Xau charts. I'm not promoting it for you. It's just my personal objective opinion. Is it easy to find liquidity with order flow? Yeah, I'm not really looking for liquidity personally. Okay, I'm not really looking for liquidity. I am looking for volume and volume inside the candle. And I'm looking to understand the dynamic between buyers and sellers. Okay, so what I like to do, for example, is I like to use my volume profile strategy. Let's say I have a higher time frame bias. That means on the higher time frame, I know what kind of direction I want to look for today or for the session or what I prefer to trade. And then I go to the lower time frame and I use a tool called the volume profile to mark out levels, areas of interest. And then inside of these levels or resistance levels or support levels, I wait for the reaction. Okay. And the moment I see a reaction, I look at what has happened at that level. And then I go into the order flow. Then I look at the Xau charts and see, okay, in that level, we're seeing a lot of sellers participating. All right. That might give us an indication of a rejection, for example. Yeah, I think gold is holding particularly strong right now. I think I'm very impressed with how gold is holding really well. We saw such aggressive selling today, guys, during the ASIN session. It was one of the largest sell-offs I've seen so far with the highest amount of volume I've seen so far. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is because we already almost exceeded Wednesday's volume, and the New York Stock Exchange hasn't even opened yet. So we have seen probably the most volume in a single day or in a single session. For sure, the most volume in the ASIN session. That's the certainty. Yeah, but we'll see indeed if this is also going to happen on the New York session, if you can actually break some records today. Are you gonna sell today with? Are you got sell today with win? Nice to see you smile. No, this was Friday at the end of the New York session. This is how we closed the week. At least we marked out our limit order, and that played out very, very well. So I'm happy that a lot of people took it, because I got a lot of messages after the stream Friday from people saying, "Hey, I took this trade after." So win some, we lose some, or we lose some, we win some, but the wins are bigger than the losses. And as long as that's the case, then we're on the right track. Do you trade Forex or futures? Well, I started actually trading Forex. I have done around 300, 400 Forex live streams on this channel, where I traded live Forex. But now I'm switching to futures mainly for the live streams and everything. I do still have my Forex account and my trading and everything. So I still do and utilize Forex. I truly don't really care, to be honest. Like some people say, oh, Forex is so bad. It's so bad. Bro, it's the same shit, man. It's like gold goes up or it goes down. Okay? That's it. So for me, it doesn't really matter. As a day trader, like a scalper, day trader, I don't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But for futures, it's nice to have the order flow chart next to it and then have the same exact price level. That's the idea. Lorenzo, do you mind telling us again, please, your indicator, the commitment of traders? Yeah, this is a free indicator that I developed for you guys. It's indeed called the commitment of traders right here. It shows you how market participants are positioned indeed right there. You can adjust it. You can make it long on TradingView. It's very unique. You don't see this on TradingView. Okay, I can even turn this into 26. And that's 6 months, for example, right? The data every week for the last 6 months. And I explain in my book exactly how to read this information properly. Okay? How to read this information and how we expected the dollar to come down here. Yeah. Commitment of traders. You can find it right there. I created it a while ago. Right there. Just add it and put it on or boost it so it comes and add it to your favorite type link. And then you should have it, okay? Use it on a daily time frame, very important. You can only use this on a daily time frame. I explain exactly in the book how it works, okay? And how you can read it. Yeah. All right, sellers are pushing. Sellers are pushing here. So what do I want to see now? Pretty much what I want to see now is somewhat of a pullback and a continuation play. So I'm waiting for some sort of pullback scenario. We had a quick scalp idea here, right? Where we took this idea from here to the highs. Now that these highs are taken out internally here, we pull back, and now the question is, how far will we pull back? Now that the dollar has found some support here. overall, I give usually a lot of trading ideas in between as well here. Right? I'm not taking every trade myself, but I understand that everyone trades differently. Some people are a bit more aggressive. Some people are a bit more, defensive as well here. But depending on your style of trading, there are a lot of ways you can enter. But I think we should all align on one thing, and that's your daily bias, your session bias, and also, of course, the confirmations, right? The order flow confirmations, or the question of who is actually in control here. These are all very, very important. Very important questions here. Hello, Lorenzo. Can I ask what's the instrument on the right screen? That is the exit charts, okay? That's the exit charts. So many questions around the exit charts. We'll go probably a little bit deeper into this as well here. Yeah. DNL locks. I trade gold by aligning with the 1 hour trend using 15-minute time frame for key zones and only entering on the 5-minute after confirmation of a liquidity sweep, strong rejection, and a clear break of structure. What do you think? I think this is a pretty standard model. I think a lot of people use this exact method. It's very common in this space to wait for a sweep of the highs or the lows, a reversal, and then entering on the lower time frames. Very, very common model. And I think this model can work very well if you know what you're looking for. And your overall bias is correct. And if you have a good targets in mind. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I think if you use it correctly and you manage your risk correctly, you can make the strategy work. There's one thing that I've learned, guys, and I know guys that are profitable trading trend lines, okay? I know guys that are profitable trading the RSI. I know guys, whatever, all right? I know guys, I've seen it, I've seen the results. I think it's all about how do you deal with the risk, right? How do you manage your risk around your strategy? And how consistent are you in following your rules? Because it's not necessarily the strategy that is always the biggest influence, or has the biggest influence on your execution. Obviously, you need somewhat of proof that your strategy works, but you can have the best strategy in the world and you can fuck it all up in one single trade. Right? You can have the best strategy in the world, you can win 20 times, you have a 90% win rate with a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? But you can fuck it all up in one trade with one mistake. And we've all been there. Is the stealth valuation similar to the RSI? Yes. Yes. It's similar to the RSI. Lorenzo, is this your house or a green screen? Does it really look like a green screen, guys? Be honest. Does it really look like a green screen? This doesn't look like a green screen, right? Or is it like so good? Is the camera just so clean that it looks like a green screen? There. Hey, listen. Listen. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now I'm looking at it. I agree. Be right back. Anyways, welcome back. Welcome back. What is your ethnicity? I am mixed. A mixed breed. You can call me a bastard, whatever you want. Okay, I like the breakdown. I like the breakdown. I want to see a pullback, G's. I want to see a pullback back towards the 75s. That would be the ideal. Somewhere around the 75s is what I'm looking for right now. All right. The 70, 75s. I want to see another pullback here. We're getting rejected right now. We're pushing down. Dollar is also pulling back a little bit here. So I do expect a bit more follow through potentially for gold to the downside. You can definitely see that there are that sellers are in control here. Yeah, the 43.75, something like that is looking. It's actually very, very interesting here. You can see this on the 15-minute time frame. 43.75. What kind of camera is that? This is a Sony. A Sony... I don't know which one it is, actually. Sony ZV E10, I think. ZV E10. But again, it's about the lens, right? It's about the lens. It is about the lens. It is about the lens. Can you speak Dutch? Zeer zeker. Nice to see you again here live, Lorenzo. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys here. I appreciate all of the support, by the way. I really do. I really, really do. I'm happy to be back here 5 days a week. I'm here to just help out you guys. I'm here to trade. If I find a good trade, great, right? I'll give you some insights regardless. And we're here to learn together. And like I said, on this stream, egos are not allowed, man. Egos are not allowed. If you think that you're better than someone else, you have a lot of personal development to do, okay? I'm not joking. If you think that you're better than someone else, you have a lot of personal development to do. All right, this is a zero-sum game. All right, people win, people lose. Any trade is different. Every trade is a unique trade, okay? It's really hard to say, I am better than you. You don't have to prove to other people how good you are either, okay? We're just having a good time here on the streams. We are learning here. We are talking some facts, some in-depth fundamentals, some higher time frame, but also the order flow, so you actually see how price actually behaves behind the scenes for free on this channel 5 days a week around the New York Open. If you like to trade gold, it's always interesting to be here because you see what is actually happening on the charts behind the scenes as well. If I find a good setup, I'll take it. And I'm here to answer your questions, of course. So the only thing that I need from you, if you support this channel, because I have nothing to sell you, is to like this channel, man. I appreciate this. All right, this will really help my channel grow. It's just to like it. I will be here anyways. I need to trade. Need to make some money. But I would like and appreciate your like. All right? I really do. That's how the game works. The YouTube business works. Thank you. Do you display the trades when you enter? Yes, I do. Win, loss, everything. However, sometimes I'll just tell you what I think is going to happen. What are the biggest scenarios and chances? Doesn't necessarily always mean that I will take that exact trade, okay? It just depends on the situation, on the market condition, on the day itself, on how I feel, you name it. What are the chances that your strategy can be fully automated? Well, I don't know, man. I think at some point, we'll get there. I think the sooner with AI and everything that's happening right now, I think we can get there. I just do not really know 100% how you could include this order flow data as an additional layer. How that actually works. Maybe you can do it with some API confirmation or whatever. I don't really know. But I to be honest, guys, a lot of people love to trade automated, which I completely get. But I like to trade, man. I don't know about you, but I like to be there. I like to sit in front of the charts for 2 hours, 3 hours a day during the New York session and just observe the price action and have a good time and put on some music. You know what I mean? No problem for me, personally. We can do it anywhere we want. The thing about trading is you learn a lot about yourself as well here. You do really learn a lot about yourself. About your personality, right? And if you don't believe me, give it some... just give it some time. Just give it some time. You will see. Yeah, so we're still breaking down, right? Sellers are still pushing here. I'm waiting for price to respond around 75. See how we get how we go from there. It's not that far away. Dollar is already slowing down a little bit. And we have the New York Stock Exchange open right now. Right, so also the alignment there with the timing is very interesting. The New York Stock Exchange has opened up. Do we see some volume here? How does the Nasdaq open? Let's see. Nasdaq is dropping a bit. The Nasdaq 5-minute candle is dropping. Let's see what the first 50-minute candle does here, but we're holding up. It's neutral. It's neutral. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, the 75 is kind of what I'm looking for here. Somewhere around there, which is still around the swing POC, right? The same swing point of control here. How do you feel when you hit your TP? I mean, I can give you a professional answer, or I can give you a real transparent answer. Obviously, I'm happy when I win a trade. Okay? Obviously, I'm happy when I win a trade. Of course. You know, my professional answer will be, yeah, it's part of the game, standard, you know, no emotion. No, the reality is I'm happy when I win, and I'm not always happy when I lose a trade. Yeah, that's the truth behind it. Do I know in the long term that it doesn't really matter? Yes, I do know that. I do know that. I do know that. All right, now I'm getting to like interesting territory. Right now, I'm like, yes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're still trading above the VWAP, by the way. The VWAP is sitting at 4329. Something around that level here. I would love to see a little bit more push down. Dollar is slowing down already, which is good. I want to see the dollar slowing down a little bit or just stagnating. The NQ here is not the strongest. I mean, it's not the strongest right now. It's facing definitely some resistance here. It's definitely facing some resistance at the moment. Yeah, we can definitely see that for sure. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think the big move will still happen later on. I think on the Nasdaq as well here. I don't think that this is necessarily very, very clear yet, but what will actually happen here. It's holding up quite well, the Nasdaq right now. It's holding up quite well. Yeah, so initial push was up. Now he said, okay, we're going to wait for price to come down a little bit. That is definitely happening here. Now I'm looking to see, okay, what happens around here? Because this is where, in my opinion, the actual trading session will take place here. Either we will bounce and actually go for the daily highs, or we break down and we fill and we break structure, okay? And then I think we could get back towards the 4200s again. So it's a very, very important level to pay attention to right here. What will happen around this zone? And how does price respond around, in my opinion, the 4375. The 4375. Which is right here. This red box. Yeah, oil is neutralizing. Oil is neutralizing. The NQ is a bit weaker, at least around the open. Gold is still holding up really well. It's still holding up really well. 75, right? Something around here. Somewhere around there. Even if we bounce, right, and we create a reversal here or whatever, we could still bounce at least and get into like at least some sort of reaction. So I'm curious to see if that actually will be somewhat interesting. Yeah, I like it overall. I like it overall. Let's take the bottom to the top as well here. Yeah, the value area high here. Perfect. That is the exact level which I am looking for. If you guys want to learn, by the way, about the volume profile, we have a book written. Or just watch the live streams, but this is on the swing profile on page number 53. Page number 53. I'll put a link in the chat. It's free. Yeah, somewhere around this area here. I do like it indeed. We're getting to the undervaluation soon again on the lower time frame here. Last time we were undervalued, we created the bottom here. Here we were undervalued, we created the bottom. Here we were undervalued, we created the short-term bottom, right? So we had an undervaluation here, we created the bottom. Right here, we created the bottom. Right here, we created the bottom. Right here, we created the bottom. Just trust the process. Right here. Right here. So if we can get to an undervaluation and we tap into the very high, which aligns with the structure right now, and as well, of course, the actual orders in the marketplace right here, this box of trapped sellers, which is right at that level, yeah, then I feel good about it on an entry there. And I think we could potentially set in at least a limit order. And if we get invalidated again, like this is the same thing as Friday, right? I had a loss and then a huge win after because of the fact that we had an invalidation here. Now, if we break structure, then we might indeed drop further down, actually for the rest of the session here, because I don't think it will be bullish after we break this level and then come back. That would be very rare, in my opinion. I think if that happens, we will probably continue to drop lower for the rest of the session, or at least in the next couple of hours, if that would be the case. So I like this area of interest very much for that exact reason. If I enter and I win, I expect the bounce, right? That's why I'm looking to long it. But if I'm invalidated and I'm wrong, then I think there's a much larger chance that we will continue for the rest of the session, pretty much. That's kind of the thought process behind it, because it gives me a lot of peace. Okay, I'm wrong, but then it's B, right? If X, if not X, then Y. So yeah, something like this, 75-ish. At least give us that pushback. At least give us a reaction. That's all we need, pretty much. We need a reaction, that's all. Burrows, thank you for the sub, my friend. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Are you trading gold? Are you a gold trader? Let me know. Yeah, dollar is already slowing down a little bit here. I do like that, right? Also, the question of today is, okay, there was so much... this is such a big statement from Trump, right? That we just talked about. Such a big statement from Trump. With all of these macro layers, right? The dollar tapping into that higher time frame resistance here. Yeah, we just have to acknowledge that this is very bearish for dollar right now in the higher time frame. But on the lower time frame, it's still a little bit inconsistent. But I think over the next couple of days, we will find very, very clear higher time frame structure on the dollar as well. I think this will give us a lot more clarity around the future of the dollar in the next coming weeks. Wow, gold's already reacting really aggressive here. But this should be the moment, though. This should be the moment for the gold to really decide if we want to follow through or not. Because, yeah, I'm going to set the limit order right now. The fact that we are here, we are now still relatively undervalued. If we manage to break down all the way, we will definitely be undervalued. And yeah, I can see the alignment very well with the dollar right now. We will pull back in the daily support again. So I don't think we're there with gold. I think it makes sense to set the limit order here. In case we pull back. But wow, what a price action, man, on gold. It's so insanely volatile right now. Insanely volatile. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because if this is your first, if you're new to trading gold here, this is you've entered a special era. That's all I can say. You entered a very unique situation. If you have been trading gold for a while already, then you understand how volatile gold is at the moment here. And how amazing it can be, okay, if you trade and take the right setups, how amazing it can be, but how important it is to manage your risk accordingly, okay? If not, decrease your risk as much as possible. And that is an understatement. That is an understatement. Physical oil is now trading 11% higher than a paper price. Wow. That is that's significant. That is significant indeed. Yeah, oil dropped around 11%, 10, 11%. I think it dropped around 17% today after the news. And I think it was in a 5-minute candle. Yeah, around 15% in a single 5-minute candle. Just imagine how much money that would actually represent here. Yeah, think about that for a second. Sometimes, you know, you just see a candlestick on your laptop, on your chart or whatever. But if you actually calculate the actual value and the decrease in the value, then you will be shocked. You will be mind blown. You will be mind blown. $4,400 is critical support. Yes, that is true. But we have the swing value area high at 4379. Okay, 4379. We have the swing value high. We also have. I do agree with you that 4,400 is actually a critical area of support. That's definitely true. I hope we can break it though. I hope we can actually pull back. I hope we can pull back here. All right. Check out Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is ripping, geez. Bitcoin is ripping as well here. In case you are aware of Bitcoin, it is, yeah, it's a nice big push today. 5%, 6%, which is okay. It's okay. Okay. From a Bitcoin perspective, it's okay. We have seen bigger, we have seen better, but it's definitely a big push today in comparison to what we have seen over the last weeks. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you are seriously not used to the amount of volume here, then this is definitely something that's not always going to be like this, guys. Just take that in consideration. So, you know, there are a couple different ways you can trade these sessions like these here. Number one is to simply not wait for the New York session, by the way, okay? Because it actually has been, over the last weeks now, that the Asian session, funny enough, is one of the best sessions to trade gold. And I can comfortably say this. At the Asian session 3 years ago on gold was the worst session to trade gold. By far. And now it's the best session to trade gold, by far. And I can confirm that. I live in Asia myself. I live in Bali, Indonesia, on a small island. I know. I wake up early in the morning and I see gold ripping. Or I see gold dumping. But something is happening, okay? A lot less manipulation around the Asian session. And then London hits, and London is the most boring session in the whole freaking world right now. Also, that has changed. London was so cool 2 years ago. It was always fun, it was always amazing, a lot of volume. It's completely dead lately. The London session on gold. Yeah, New York is you know, New York is my baby. That's it. I love the Asian session here, but with you guys, obviously New York is just perfect. Right? The only thing is that we have in New York, we always have in New York a little bit more history. What happened during London, what happened during Asia. The inconsistency of New York, though, is the volume. You never really know now if it's going to be a big day or a small, if it's going to be a big move or a small move. If price is consistently pushing higher or lower, or if it's going to be, you know, all over the place. But for this potential scenario, I think it's pretty clear. The structure is pretty clear to me right now. John, what is your lovely bride's favorite session? Is she trading now or in another room? She's trading. She's traded the Asian session. We traded the Asian session. With me, we traded the Asian session. I actually took a long, though. If you don't believe me, I actually took a long during Asia. I'm not joking. Okay, I'm not joking. I took a long during the Asian session. Yes, right around here. On the valuation, right there, which was for me around 9 a.m. in the morning. It's now 9:50 p.m. for me. Holy Ilona, God bless you for the great work you're doing. Thank you. I love to be here, man. I like to be here. Like I'm looking forward to it every day now. Mondays, I said always in the weekends, I'm like, can't wait for Mondays to start. Mondays are the best days of the week. When I know that Mondays are the best days of the week, I know that I'm doing something good, something correct. Something in life I'm doing right. We're holding on really well. We're actually holding on really well. Come on, it's a 5-minute time frame, right? We're not looking at the 30-minute today. We're looking at the 5-minute. We can have a little bit. We can have a little squeeze to the downside. Come on, we can do that. But it's mainly just the dollar. That's it. It's the dollar on the weaker side. If the dollar holds that support one more time here, yeah, I do expect gold to drop eventually. The more it gets to an entry and the more we're undervalued, the better and higher probability the trade setup will be. Like that's a certainty. That is a certainty. If you do break higher, okay, if you do break out and we pull back, the daily highs is of course the next target. Lorenzo, pretty sure I think Trump or his family also traded the market that he manipulated single-handedly. Do you guys remember the Trump coin? That was so hardcore. That was hardcore. He released the Trump coin the day before the election, or the day before, yeah, the actual election, exactly. Wow, that was hardcore. Never heard about it after. No one talked about it after. You know what? We're just going to release the Trump coin at the end of the election so we get our money back. Woo! This is all speculation, of course, but yeah. Is that a MACD below the chart? No, that's the valuation index. It's similar to an RSI, but instead of the RSI, which actually looks at an individual candlestick chart. Okay, this is the RSI. Everyone knows the RSI. We look at the dollar or the 10-year yield, okay? Doesn't really matter. Both of them are very similar. And we compare gold to another candlestick chart. So it's kind of, creates the understanding of how it's valued against that. And because it's so important to understand that valuation between each other, you can find and predict tops and bottoms of structures very well. And the highest setups, the highest probability trades happen in the extremes, right? The top, the bottom, okay? The bottom, the top, the local top. Even in an uptrend here, you can see it's struggling. So it's not always gonna change the direction. It's not always gonna, completely reverse, right? But what you have to understand is that if you wanna enter the trade, you wanna enter with everything in your favor, right? So you can manage your trade accordingly. And this is why I decided to utilize something like this and implement this in my strategy, because it has been really helpful in predicting bottoms and tops, short-term bottoms and tops, right? Perfect for entries, for execution. But it's not a decision maker of where I think price will go, okay? It's more just helping me with the right timing of my trade. But the whole bias and idea around my trade happens outside of it. We're not going to use a single-handed indicator to determine the direction of the market, right? We need more context. We need to understand what is actually happening from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. Top-down analysis, give us an indication of some news or whatever happened during the Asia or London session, or what is actually happening if you want to take it a step further in the order flow. A lot of things we can do here, but it helps tremendously with the timing of the market as well here. And potential levels that we might bounce from. Hello, Lorenzo, Corrado. I come here live after 1.5 years. I think you remember me. Stop watching videos around 30,000 subscribers. Wow. Long time ago. It's a long time ago. Yeah, the dollar is still holding though, right? The dollar is still holding that support. Gold is still we're facing some resistance here. That's definitely what we're seeing right now. And again, it's at the same level. We could have closed above, yeah, we did came above this on the 50-minute. On the hourly time frame, it's at the same level, right? We are unable to break above this right now and close above that resistance. Gold has a very hard time here. Gold is really struggling around here. But it's starting to get stronger and stronger. I do have to admit this. John says, I really need to keep X open on my phone at all times. Yes. I use X all the freaking time. All the time for news. To be honest, there's a lot of, you really need to be able to filter out the right data, though, the right news, though. But I do like it a lot. Yeah. Still a lot of rejection on gold here, clearly. Again, a lot of selling right before, again, the hourly closure here. So it's definitely still a bit messy around the top. So this actually helps us with our clarification of, hey, we might indeed see more of a less of a pullback here still. Dollar is still holding up really well. So is the 10-year yield. So we're still seeing this support from the dollar. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one. I'm going to push it down to this area. Right there. Look at how we tapped into that zone. Right there. Why there? That's for the sellers to control, right? So this is current resistance right now. Is at 4469 to 4482. So 4469 is pretty much where we got rejected from. Does the Fibonacci really work? I like to see the retracement. I haven't studied the Fibonacci personally enough to say this. I know people that use it, and I see these retracements very well, and I see them working at the 50, the 618. You know, and I see the reaction, and I'm like, wow, yeah, it's true. Every time you pull back and it taps into it and it reacts. But I haven't properly tested it myself, so I cannot give you a real good opinion or objective opinion around it. I don't know, man. I do not really know. I do not really know. Fibonacci. I know some people that use the Fibonacci and that have been successful with it, but they have a very specific strategy around it. Just the tool itself is not going to be enough. Yeah, this is what I mean with a good chat. You guys are good. You guys are really, you guys are perfect. You guys have a good mindset. I can see it in the chat here. And I'm not joking because I see some chats, bro. I see some chats. I've been in some chats. I've been in some Discord channels. I've been there. And what I see is it's only, you know, usually what I see is just the one big dick sizing competition. Sorry for my words. But it's a reality. Right? I don't see that here. I don't see that here. I see you guys are all aligned, respectfully, are helping each other. No ego. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're just here to learn, get better, and to observe the market. And to get to a level where we can actually do something with our lives, right? Improve our lifestyle and that of others. That was always my vision, my mission, to make that happen. This is why you would never see me comment on someone's Instagram page. You know, if I don't agree with someone on Instagram, do you think I'm gonna waste my freaking time? Do you really think I'm gonna waste my time to write a message? You're such a loser because I think of this. Bro, it's a waste of your time. Yeah, we're still seeing gold pushing up, but it's struggling, man. It is struggling right in this red zone. It is struggling. It is struggling. What about 50-minute? Yeah. No bottom wick as well. 30-minute, no bottom wick. Hourly, no bottom wick. Look at the hourly especially. Very weak bottom. Usually when you see a long wick on the hourly time frame, right? An hourly candle with a long wick, and then the next candle opens up immediately bullish. The amount of times it will flip is just significantly higher than it just continuing higher. From what I've seen. So I would not be surprised if we would see a rotation here soon. We are in that resistance here. We'll see. We'll see. We're not in a rush today, for sure not with Trump. Yeah, we talked about this long idea that scalped to the upside here. A bit of a pullback, and now the question is, what will happen? Will we actually pull back, or are we actually right away going to go for the daily highs already? Trump is speaking right now. Is that really so? Is that for real?
For the TSA. spark during the shutdown. Will you see that again?
Well, it could happen. It's amazing. There are people that are really, really loyal and great, and it's not easy for them. And this is all caused by the Democrats. It's just so
okay.
You know.
I need to watch that back later. I don't think it's about anything of importance though right now. Lorenzo, what is the best way to learn about the volume profile? Thank you. There are a lot of different ways you can use the volume profile. There are so many videos on YouTube about the volume profile. To be honest, you just need to test it out yourself and find your own style. But I will show you the different ways in which you can draw the volume profile correctly. So you can actually use it in the different scenarios here, okay? Because the market moves differently. Sometimes the market ranges. Okay, so you need to use the volume profile in a range. Okay, sometimes the market is super aggressive. So you need to mark out the volume profile from the swing low to the swing high. Sometimes the market is kind of trending, right? Slowly. You might need to look at a previous trading day, right? For the pullback, for the continuation. There are different ways you can look at it. And I've actually explained everything in the book that I've written for free. You can just download for free and just get. Okay? And I explain all the different layers here. The weekly volume profile, right here, with all the data. The daily volume profile, the fixed volume profile, the swing volume profile, and then execution models around that. Okay? Different execution models around that. So I'll drop a link in the chat. You can download it for free and then read through it. It takes you, what, 15 minutes to go through and then just practice it yourself, right? And then on stream, I will highlight. If you have any specific questions on stream, for example, then I can show you some different examples here. Right now, we're talking about a swing profile. Why? Because we have seen aggressive price action. And in the aggressive price action, we mark out our key levels, right? Our swing profile, in this case. Yes. Yeah, gold is holding up really well. I have to admit it, even when the dollar is just holding up right now, gold is just doing its best to hold up really, really well. You can definitely see this right here. So that initial actually long idea here was actually a really good idea, right? An initial push up was very, very clear. And we just have to see if we can pull back and actually get into a good long. This is on the 5-minute time frame. So with a bit of volume, we should expect some movement, but there's just less volume right now after the news of Trump. We haven't really seen a lot of volume after that. And we're still getting rejected. Okay, we're still in that red box. Don't get me wrong, we're still in that red box. The dollar is at support, so volume profile is without the doubt the best in the... Yes, I personally agree, man. I agree. But of course, the volume profile needs context as well. You cannot just use a volume profile and just mark it out and think, oh, we're going to go up or down. That's usually not the way it works, but it will help you with your entries tremendously. The picking the right levels for the right reasons. Yes, definitely. Definitely. If gold closes bullish, safe to say big money was buying. This was the biggest move of... This is probably going to be the biggest move of the week here. I mean, if gold can drop 10% in a day, and then it recovers 8% of that in a day, in the same trading day, you know how crazy that actually is, if you really think about it? I don't think we have seen that in a while. Actually, in a while, have we ever seen a move like that where we do this in one trading session, one trading day? 10% up, 10% down. I don't think so. I haven't seen it here. Maybe here, but it's been a while, definitely. Urvisa says, I'm trying to get better on being confident on my entry. Kind of doubt myself since the past few weeks. So trying to get better at that. Yeah, sometimes what helps me is just to simply lower my risk. So you get into the flow. Because if you feel that your risk is significantly lower, then you kind of make it a little bit easier for yourself to enter a trade regardless. And, you know if you're wrong about your trade, then at least you will not be completely wrecked, or you not lose a lot of money or whatever. So lower your risk as much as you can at the beginning, get into the flow, and then when you build that confidence again, just steadily increase that risk. Gun levels help me trade a lot. Any suggestions? Gun levels? I don't know. Gun levels. Tell me about it. The Nasdaq is also chilling, guys. It's not just gold. It's also the Nasdaq. This was the open. We're just, we're chilling. We're chilling right now. All right? We are chilling. Chilling. Yes. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm still working on the playlist. Just so you guys know, I'm still working on it. I just don't feel it's complete yet. It is not complete yet. I need to find some more tracks, okay? I'm working on it. Once I'm there, I will share it with you, I promise. But I want to have a complete playlist for you guys ready, because I will call this the Lorenzo 3.0 playlist. The LT 3.0 playlist. I'm still gathering information, gathering my songs. Okay, we're getting there. I want you to turn on the speakers when you trade. You get into the flow. You're ready for the session. You're ready to rock and roll. You turn on your playlist. And you're laser focused, my friend. You're laser focused. Before, you know what I did? Before I was listening to podcasts, etc. And it's great to listen to podcasts, but it doesn't. I'm not locked in. You know what I mean? I'm not locked in. I need to be locked in for the charts. Yeah, it's very impressive right now how gold is holding up here, though. Like, it definitely is very impressive how gold is holding up. So much resistance now. So much resistance here. When is this candle going to close? In around 2 minutes. Okay. This is the most important candle. It's the 50-minute candle. You can see how this zone, this red box that we're seeing here right now in the order flow right here, is holding price down here. Sellers to control here. This is your lower time frame supply zone, you could say. Actual supply zone, okay? Not speculative, no. Lower time frame supply, this is where sellers took control. And now you see a lot of buyers stepping in here in that zone. And they're unable to break price above it, okay? And now you see sellers stepping in. The only key is, though, that we're not flipping this candle bearish. We're not ripping downwards. Why? There is still buying pressure as well here. Buyers are not completely gone yet, okay? Buyers are not completely out of the window here, out of the woodwork. So there is a true battle taking place right now around this level. But if the volume, let's say, dies down here, okay, if the volume now comes down, let's say on the 5 minutes, the volume comes down here, okay? Yeah, then that could show an exhaustion. And when you call it an exhaustion is when the volume comes down, buyers are no longer interested in buying there because they realize it's not working, price is not following through. And then, we might see a reversal, but for now, they're trying to do their absolute best to break out. Yeah, 30 seconds. So yeah, buyers are definitely having a hard time right here, Majis. Buyers are having a hard time. But it's still not there yet. It's still the candle is still green. Oh wow, look at that at the end. Still, this is the third 5 minute candle, the fourth 5 minute candle right now, failing to close above it. But they're still buying. They're still buying. Buyers are still willing to. You can also see it on the candlestick chart right here, right? You can see that buyers, are trying to equally push price up higher. You can kind of see how that dynamic is kind of forcing us to like compress right now. To squeeze on the 1 minute, it's just very flat. So no one is really in control here, but we are at resistance right now, that's for sure. So let's see, can we actually break above this? Actually, number one, close above this though. That will make the difference here, right? Closing above the highs. X Sniper X. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. I heard that Trade Sharp is going to come on your stream. Yes, sir. He's going to come on my stream very, very soon. He is going to come on my stream very, very soon here. Yeah, I've met him in Dubai. Very, very nice guy. Very chill guy. So he's going to come on my stream here. I met him in person in Dubai. We went to a cigar lounge. We had a good time there. Why not trade silver? I like Goldie. I like Goldie. I'm a big fan of gold. Traded silver sometimes as well. Okay, we're kind of finally squeezing. Took a long time here. Wow. We're just keep going higher, right? Are we actually going to go for the daily highs? That 50-minute close is going to help us tremendously. Lorenzo is my lucky charm back-to-back win while watching. Nice. That's amazing. Yeah, this initial scalp was really good. That pullback, I kind of expected here. The fact that we didn't came as deep as we wanted, that's okay. But let's see if we can actually close that candle above it as well here. Not just wick above it. But the dollar is slowing down here, so we might actually close above it here now that the dollar is actually weakening. And yeah, the dollar had no interest in pushing up here, okay? No interest in pushing up anymore. Which is actually a big tell sign that this indeed might not be the fake out, by the way. In terms of the dollar, especially on the higher time frame. This overall, in my opinion, is a really good day for really to understand what will actually happen now with gold, because this makes, in my opinion, all the difference. The news that came out here, the dollar that is weak, with, of course, the confirmation on the higher time frame. It's not just that the news came out and the dollar reverses. No, the dollar is in higher time frame resistance, was in higher time frame resistance, and is getting rejected. And is getting rejected multiple times, and constantly we're seeing that new supply was getting created here. We saw that there, rejection, new supply zone here, rejection. Right? That means new area of resistance was formed, and we started to see a push. And when the news came out, we were right in that zone, and we rolled over. So, you know, this to me is just a very, very good sign for the dollar, that we actually might pull back a bit deeper over the next coming days ahead of us here. And that this might not be a fake out. Right? We also talked at the beginning of the stream around all the fundamental data and stuff, why we believe that. So this might help us as well with gold to see, okay, in the next coming days ahead of us here, what are the chances that we might actually, after we pull back, I still believe in a pullback, by the way, maybe not directly, but sooner or later, that we actually might push and try to break back up higher again after that large squeeze. The fact that we dropped 10% in the morning and that we're now almost fully recovered, to me, is insane. That doesn't happen all the time. That's a very rare occasion here. So for me, that is a huge tell sign here that something big might be coming, and that we are actually definitely holding up really well. And then we actually might be able to switch our buys up a little bit over the next coming days, finally, again, instead of just selling. One thing is for certain, okay? If you are able to trade the A's in session, if you are able to wake up in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening and set your alarm at 8 p.m. EST New York time, so 8 p.m., I highly recommend you to do that, because the best entries usually happen around the open lately with gold. I highly recommend to study the Asia session if you can, besides the New York session. And skip the London session. Just skip it. Just don't even think about it. Do whatever you want to do during London. Take some time off, because that is absolutely horrendous lately. Horrendous session. What about oil dropping? Yes, oil's down 9%, 10% to be exact. I thought it was down more, to be honest. No, you're correct. It's down 10% right now. Yeah, oil dropped really hard after the news that came out from Trump today. Right? The de-escalation of the war. He signals upon a de-escalation of the war, or a potential war. And therefore, right, now you could call it a war, right? The de-escalation of it, so oil immediately dropped around 10-15% of an impact, and now it's around 10% down. Right? Before the news, gold dropped 10%, is now almost recovered, which is absolutely crazy if you really think about it. And the Nasdaq is up. The silver price up. Bitcoin is up. Okay. The euro is up. And all of these levels were all very interesting, because the euro tapped into that 12-hour demand zone. I talked about it with my group, and I marked this level out. Okay. I marked this level out on the euro right here, and I said, watch this level right here. I said it yesterday before the open. I said, watch this zone, and look at how it tapped into this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable reaction here. Very interesting how we exactly tapped into that level and just skyrocketed. I'm here for the first time. What strategy do you use? I utilize the volume profile map. Some supply and demand, higher time frame, volume profile, lower time frame for my levels, and then the order flow chart now for confirmations around entries. Could be a great stream in Asia as well here. Would you guys be interested in Asia? Would you guys be interested in Asia? I've never streamed Asia. Yeah, one time when I did a 24-hour stream, but that's it. Wow, I would love to trade Asia, by the way. I love to trade Asia session right now. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's very interesting that you guys are saying this, by the way. It's very interesting. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna rock. We're gonna rock the ship. This is a rocket right now. You can see it. We're not overvalued yet. We are even on the 15-minute. We're pushing up higher. I think we're gonna go for the daily highs, guys. I would not be surprised right now. We're gonna target the daily highs. We're gonna close this candle in 5 minutes on the 15-minute time frame. Most likely above our box. Most likely above our box right there. Even the 4 hours seems to be holding up really well right now. But definitely on the 15-minute. Major breakout with a lot of volume. Buyers in the top of the candle, which is what you want to see here. Buyers are stepping in right there. Oh. Yeah, this is most likely going to go for the daily highs right now, to be honest. If you look at it right here, I think you can clearly see that we broke out. And the most logical move is 4538. Any chance to look at the order flow delta? The delta is positive, ma'am. The delta is looking really positive since we started to push up here. More buying than selling. The overall session delta is negative, but yeah, of course, it has been ripping down with super high volume. But it doesn't mean much right now. Yeah. Nah, this is way too over motivated right now. I think this is by far a great entry. That initial scalp was also very, very good. But right now, I think that the daily highs are just the most logical targets here. The dollar is just so weak. The dollar is tanking. And I actually, to be honest, I thought even that the 70, 75 would be, and the 80 would be kind of an aggressive entry, by the way. But we held so strong. We held so strong. When we were here, I was like, this is going to be an aggressive entry. But we held really, really well. 12 Dillik says, after the last week's stream, I switched to Xau charts. It is amazing. Thanks, G. What I can even do for you guys, if you are an Xau chart trader, I can actually export my workspace. So you have the weekly, all right, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15-minute and the 5-minute all in one workspace directly with all the color palettes and all the settings and all the indicators. Boom, right installed. Okay, I'm willing to share this with you guys. You just have to reach out to me, maybe on Instagram or something. I'm willing to figure that out, how we can do that. Okay, maybe a Google Drive link or something. If you have Xau charts, of course. I don't promote Xau charts. I don't have a link for you, whatever. But if you have it, just follow me on Instagram. Okay, and send me a message. We'll figure it out. Okay. Very useful. Otherwise it takes a very long time to set up once. But once you've done it, it's done. And you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's very, very nice. Yeah, so what is next, right? So we are clearly strong. We are definitely not fully there. We still have that. We don't have that hourly closure, of course. If we pull back, this is definitely 100% an entry that I will be taking. Right around here. right? On the 5-minute time frame. Because it's such a good area of interest. We will take out the lows and we will tap into our main area. And it might induce buyers to step in early to get us into a trade to then target the daily highs. Especially if we re-break down here. And if we fail to break out, let's say, and take out the highs. Yeah, then I'm very interested in seeing, okay, can we actually just break structure, fake out, and push higher? Because the dollar is breaking down. And we actually closed or almost are closing below that exact level, which we talked about, super important. Yeah, so no one truly knows what's going to happen over the next hour or so. When people tell me, yo, it will never get there, then, you know, bro, sometimes I think, you know, it's never going to come back. And trust me, it comes back. It comes back. We can't control how the market moves. Okay, so we do have to mark out certain scenarios, at least in my mind. Okay, right? That is something I'm willing to do if price comes back. If price comes back, that's something I will do, definitely. Especially because the hourly candle has not closed above it here. Even the 15 minutes right now, we're seeing a lot of buying, but a lot of less follow through. A lot of buying, but no follow through. There we go. I was actually thinking about closing the stream shortly, but now I'm like, we might actually pull back. Who knows? What's happening, Rowan, my friend? Hope you do well. How are you doing today, my friend? Good to see you. Stefano, you too, my friend. Stefano Altamani. I need to manage that sound, by the way. I don't know how to do that. Turn it down a little bit. Damn. All the new people, I want to welcome to the streams here, okay? My goal here is to be here for you. From Monday to Friday. Just go over the market, show you scenarios, show you my vision, my ideas, the way I trade, etc., etc., etc. Give you some constructive feedback if you want to. Hopefully you learn from it. I'm sharing here all my things that I'm doing here. I'm just here to do my thing, to just share what I know and what I'm learning, and hopefully it benefits you. Forex chart is dumping. All right. And the dollar is so weak, which is actually good. I actually want the dollar to be weak right now, but I also want gold to pull back a bit. Because we're kind of in the middle here. Pat says, brutal. I just spoke to a guy I know who lost $55,000 over the weekend. He went long Friday night at 4680. That is always unfortunate. But again, if you can make it once, you can make it twice. And it's just a learning experience, hopefully. Hopefully it's just a learning experience. Do you still trade spot or only futures for now? I only trade futures for now. But live on stream at least. Live on stream. But on spot, I still trade, of course. I took a trade today during the Aces session. I took a long right here. When it was dumping, after the win, it started to continue to sell off. So there was a counter trend win. Took it with my girlfriend. Man, daily highs, probably. We turned the zone into support right away. But very, very tricky there. But probably daily highs here. Yeah. Daily highs, 4538. The hourly candle doesn't look really convincing to me though. If I look at the hourly candle right now, I'm like, man, especially after such a long wick. But it all depends on how we close it, of course. All depends on how we close it here. But I'm gonna definitely show you some scenarios right now. The trend is holding, yes. I'm not really caring about the trend itself. I care more about critical zones and levels. This is a clear range. We are clearly getting rejected around the point of control here at 4,500. It's kind of like a psychological level as well. How old is your girlfriend? That's a weird question. How old is your wife? Hey man, what's happening? Yo, hey, how old is your wife? How old is your girlfriend? How old is your sister? Daily highs or not, guys? What do you guys think here? Okay. Not many fake outs here. Yeah, the volume is actually, it's moving. Yeah, price is moving. Price is moving. Nothing compared to Asia today, though. Nothing compared to Asia. Trading Asia was like, I think my trading holding time was around 5 minutes. I was holding the trade for 5 minutes. Got in, boom. Immediate profit, no drawdown, 5 minutes, done. Do you play chess? Of course. Bro. Do I play chess? Bro. What do you think, my G? What do you think? Marmor. This is marble. Right? This is marble. This is top notch, my friend. This is the real deal. Okay? A 100%. It's all correlated. Chess, trading, investing, you name it. It's all correlated. All right. Okay. Serious stuff right now, though. Like, gold is struggling. This hourly candle will be very, very important. I will wait for this closure in this stream today. I will wait for this closure because I think this closure will be will tell us a lot. If price, which I still believe will come at some point back to revisit the 4,400, if not the 4,380, I still believe that this is an area of interest, which is, I think, very important to kind of revisit some of that structure to get to an under-variation to then potentially bounce. I would still see this, especially if the daily highs are not taken out. Okay. Definitely. So take a little bit, and this is also something that I keep telling people all the time, right? I can't really control the market every day in terms of like, I look for specific setups in the market. I always mark up my scenarios. I will never be trading every single stream, always, right? I've been taking, like, in the last 3 weeks, I took around 6 or 7 trades in like 10 streams, 9 streams. I took around 6 or 7 trades, right? So what you also have to understand is that sometimes I give you these breakdowns and analysis here, and then some people message me that they actually followed these things and they actually think, yeah, it makes sense to me, and they actually take action and they take a trade with that analysis as well, right? A lot of people, they think, oh, no trade on the stream, oh, never mind, right? No, but listen to what we talk about here on the stream. Listen really to what we actually discuss, because these scenarios matter, okay? These scenarios matter, and these scenarios are very important because we utilize them, hopefully, to still work in your favor over time as well here, okay? So it's all about your own efforts. But of course, we always want you to always say every time, like, if you take trades, just make sure that you understand the reasoning why we take trades. Right? What is the reason behind the trade, right? Because I can tell you, give you an idea right now, and if you just think, oh, this is a trade, enter here, stop loss there without context, then yeah, you make money, and then what? You come back for another shot of dopamine. But if I explain the reasoning behind it and you understand it properly, then you can do it in the Asian session. You can do it in the London session. You can do it in any session when I'm not around, right? You're not dependent on me. You're not dependent on anyone else and on any other streamer. You are you. You have the power in your own hands. Okay? That is the goal. That is the idea. So even if you take trades on stream like I do on stream, then at least learn from it. Take some of that information and apply it. What is the delay on your stream, like what, 5 seconds, 3 seconds? Something like that. So we're still seeing the pullback though. It's still there. It's still there. The hourly is still in its resistance. So much buying here. But no follow through right now, so if we can actually reclose below, then that's actually quite bearish. In the short term, at least. I'm gonna put my limit order back. And that's what I'm definitely gonna do right now. I'm still gonna put it there at 70. I'm still gonna put it there, in case we do still pull back. Yeah, something like that. If you don't pull back, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but at least I have it set because I do wanna see how this goes here. All right. That is one idea here. The other one is sitting at the bottom here. I think it's because of this area right there where these buyers came in aggressively here. And this is at around 445.05. So I'm probably gonna split the risk into 2 here. I'm gonna actually do the same thing as I done on Friday stream. Okay? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the same thing as on Friday stream. Let me actually fix this right now so you guys understand what I mean with this, okay? So what I'm gonna put there, the other one I'm gonna put there, 05, okay? And then I'm gonna put the stop loss below the lows here, right there, okay? So I have these 2 levels set right now. This is what I'm looking for. The reason why is because we did see very, very strong support around the 4400, right? We cannot neglect this right now. I think that if we manage to pull back, we are already at the equilibrium here. We might pull back and actually not get all the way down. But at least I'm managing my risk accordingly and getting in here. And then I would target the highs if we manage to pull back here. And come back towards the lows, at least of this overall swing low right here on the lower time frame, on the 5-minute time frame. And see if we can actually hold this analysis, just stick to it. I think that's the idea here. This reminds me a lot of Friday, pretty much. Like Friday when we actually broke down here, when we were talking about that setup here at the end of the stream as well, where we saw something like this, right? And what happened? We pulled back and we sold off. We had a limit order set at 4612, right? 4612. And we pulled back into 4614 or something. And then we sold off aggressively after that. So I expect something similar, actually, in case we pull back. All right, so kind of your average order will be there. Stop loss will be there, and I will target the daily highs somewhere around there. Okay, but it all depends on where we get filled, right? If we could get filled on both entries as well here. I think it makes sense to at least set in that order there and to split it, because we understand why, you know, we have that strong support there. So I just think that there is a potential scenario and we actually just hold it. And yeah, it's worth the risk to me. I think it's $1,000 risk or something to make like what, $2,500 to $3,000. So that makes sense of me. I can see where buyers stepped in really aggressively, where a lot of sellers got trapped here as well. The order flow chart. You can just see how price is holding up really well, and it's actually pulling back. And the undervaluation has been really accurate with us beforehand as well here. If we pull back here, usually undervaluation gives us a bottom here around the 10-year yield. So for the people who don't know, this is a 10-year yield or a dollar index. I could also do. It doesn't really matter, okay? But in this case, we use the 10-year yield. It has been very accurate. And we measure gold against the bond market. And then we can get bottoms and tops. It's similar to an RSI, but on steroids. And yeah, I mean, the bottom was here very clearly. We created the bottom. This is why we were talking about, at the beginning of the stream, a long scenario. So if you took it, then congratulations. It was actually a very good choice if you're a bit more aggressive. Second one was there. Third one was here. The fourth one was there. Pretty much every undervaluation, we do see some sort of reaction, even in the downtrend, okay? Even here, right there. So we're definitely waiting for another undervaluation here. And I think we could reach that around the 4407 or around the 4400, somewhere around there. And then at the same time, of course, aligning it perfectly with our level, our critical key level right there, right? So let's see if you can manage to pull back. Now, the question is, though, if we think the price is going to get there, is it worth selling towards that, right? That's kind of that's the ultimate question. Is it worth selling towards these buy limits? The only way I would say so is if we can actually take out the daily highs already and then start to form weakness, right? That's the only way I would say, okay, listen, we might are a bit overvalued now. We might get towards the daily highs. We sweep the highs. We start forming weaker structure here. And then potentially I would say, yes, we might do pullback, because then we could still pull back and continue higher. But at least we have swept these highs already, which I think is a very important level, the 4537 here. So that is a scenario for a short position, which I would take, but only if we would actually take out the highs then. If that makes sense. Okay, otherwise I'd rather just simply wait for the trade to play out from an undervaluation perspective and go from there. Okay? Yes. How much are you up since the streams? I don't know exactly how much. I will go through it. But we're definitely up from all the trades I've been taking this last couple of weeks. And including all the analysis and everything, of course, we have been doing really well. Now, the major thing is, what we're going to do every Friday is we're going to go through all the trades of the week on a Friday. So that means that all the trades will be discussed on a Friday. All right. So if you come to the Friday stream, then all the trades from the week will be discussed, win, losses, whatever it is. They will simply be discussed and talked about. So we can actually give it more context as well. And it allows me to just journal everything properly for the Friday stream from all the trades and the trade ideas as well as the analysis we did around certain levels. Okay? Jack, hey Lorenzo, good to see you back. I don't think we are going to pull back anytime soon. The 4-hour opened very bullish. I mean, I'm happy to see this, my friend. I'm happy to see this. I would love to see gold continue higher. But I have a feeling we're going to see some sort of pullback here. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of buying here. This kind of will be very important today. But this is what I want to wait for now, the hourly closure. John, I suspect a ton of people are selling here already, which likely means it will pull up, take out current sellers, and then fall. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of selling there taking place. That's for sure. You can actually see this, but there's still a lot of buying too now. Now, will you share your actual workspace in Instagram? Yes. If you guys are interested in getting access to this workspace, the one I created for gold, the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the 4-hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute, then yeah, just reach out to me and I will get back to you, man. Reach out to me on Instagram. Follow your boy on Lorenzo Corrado FX. You can also watch some awesome, in my opinion, educational content as well here. Okay, where we talk about the volume profile, about the CUT data that we talked about at the beginning of the stream. You know, you name it. We talked about a bunch of things. I think it's very, very useful to just watch sometimes, maybe, you know. Some previous trades that we've taken as well. A lot of things right there. Okay? But yeah. Gold is dropping. It is coming down a little bit. The hourly is getting rejected right now. Interesting. I was like, should I wait now? Should I wait now? You never know, right? I'm like, oh, shit. How long will it take? Nah, well, we'll see. We'll see. You know exactly what my levels are and why I go for these levels. Hey, John, you have some awesome information, man. John Sparks, great to have you on the stream. I appreciate your input. I saw you today on Trade Sharp's stream as well. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you. Yeah, recognizable. Trade Sharp is gonna come on my stream soon. We're gonna talk about Goldie and about the markets and yeah, his ideas and his concept. I'm also curious to other people's concepts as well. I mean, why not? Let's see if we can learn from others. Do you use the macro analysis? Bro, go to the beginning of my stream right now or after. Watch the whole first 20 minutes. We go to the complete macro analysis of everything, right? The dollar, the euro, gold, the news, everything that came with it. Okay? So you get a good understanding of why I believe that gold actually was going to go bullish very soon, as well as the dollar turning around. Yeah, I'm actually, even though I have buy limits there, I'm actually not really that super comfortable right now with selling, to be honest. You know? I'm actually not super comfortable with selling right now. Yes, so true. I agree with you, John. Definitely. Vadim says, I'm new to trading from Sri Lanka. Okay, now the best way I can start to explain what we do here is a couple of tools that you need to utilize if you want to join me, or you don't have to use them. You can use a completely different strategy. You can use your own strategy. I'll tell you what I do, okay? I use the fixed range volume profile for my entries. It's a tool in TradingView, which measures the volume of a candlestick. All right, and then exactly we know where the most trades were executed, and apparently you can see that there's a lot more interest around certain levels for particular reasons. This is the way I utilize pretty much support and resistance, but not support and resistance traditionally, but support and resistance around volume. Okay, so it's very basic, it's very simple, but you just have to understand this once. Now, how can you learn this? You can look on YouTube, you can type in how to trade the volume profile, and you find a lot of videos, okay? You can also learn, Andrea Simi is a guy that I always recommend to watch anyways. Andrea Simi here. Let me just mark him down. Andrea Simi. One of my guys, an Italian G here. Okay, just watched his... where is his video here about the volume profile? Where is it? The volume profile. How to actually use volume profiles right here. Okay. How to actually use volume profiles. Andrea Simi. Yeah, watch this video. You get a lot of understanding, like a structural understanding of how this works and why it's so powerful, okay, in trading. Why it's so powerful. Highly recommend to watch it, okay, if you're interested in learning about the volume profile. Why don't I have videos? Good question. I personally just like to go live. That's what I like. I'm a streamer, okay? I'm a streamer. I wrote a book about the volume profile in case you want to read a book. Okay, there we go. It's a free book. You can also get this one. Watch this video, read my book, and I think you have a really, really good understanding, a really good core understanding of the volume profile and how it works and why it works very well. Okay? I hope that answers your question, my friend. Anyways, gold is slowing down. We're seeing it right now for sure. Gold is definitely really, losing momentum and losing volume. But this is what we talked about. You see a lot of buying, but a lot less volume. I have two levels marked out, the 4407 and the 4379, the 4380. Okay? 4380. Yes. Yeah. The dollar is, pushing back up again, okay? So it's good that you want to see the dollar pushing back up. Otherwise, gold will never get down towards my point of interest, my area of interest. You know, level where I want to trade from. That's for sure. I mean, hello, sir, love from India. Do you love Indian people? I love Indian food. All right, I love the Indian food, not the street food, though. By the way, you know what I mean. the culinary Indian food is very good. I went to one of the best Indian restaurants. Give me some blue cheese naan, please, right now. Thank you. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that gold could pull back? Or do you think it's game over? We're going to go for the daily highs here. Muloka, my G, welcome to the streams. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, we're bullish. We're bullish biased on gold right now. And on the chart, right here, you can see that we are creating a series of higher highs and higher lows since we started streaming again. All right, this is an impulse move to the upside. If you like the stream, please smash with the like button. It's the only thing I'm asking for you, right? A like button, that's it. To smash that. Because that's how the channel grows. And I will be here from Monday to Friday. And I will at least give you the context. Even if I'm not in the trade myself, which I'm not always guaranteed I will be. Not every stream. That's just not every time like this. I have some rules that I follow. But I have always scenarios mapped out for you. I can't control the timing of the market, but I can control scenarios that I would be involved in. This is one of those. 4407 4382. Tabo says it's been a long time. Good to see you, G. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you too. Okay. Yeah, patience, man. Patience. Do. Let's see what you guys are saying here. I would like to reach price 45.35. Okay. 45.35, yeah. That's something, 45.35, is that what you're saying? 45.35. Oh, you want to go there first, before pushing down here. So that's exactly what we talked about. You wanted to see this. You wanted to see the daily highs getting taken out. And then reversal potential for the short, right? Yeah, that's a plan. That's a plan B. That's a plan B. I was thinking about that too, in case we would do that. But if we don't get there, yeah, I'm actually more tempted to take out the lows here and then come up higher, pretty much. They're actually very similar, but the other way around. Tabe says the trading war map has been a revelation. I had to study it and understand, and I'm just starting to see progress. Thanks a lot, bro. You are a gift. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was amazing to write a book. I'm very grateful to the people that helped me, of course, as well. Cannot take that away. Writing is one thing, right? Writing a book is one thing, but putting it all in place, design it properly, you know, man, so much work, so much work. Lorenzo, are you an ICT trader? No, I'm not an ICT trader. I don't really know exactly what an ICT trader is as well, to be honest. Because it's constantly developing and changing as well, right? But, no, I'm not an ICT trader, but I don't know. I think the ICT is you know, what you see with ICT a lot, I think, is just the sweeps of the highs and lows and then the internal reversals, right? And then a pullback into a gap. And then a trade. Correct? I mean, to me, it's actually not as bad. I think it's a pretty valuable strategy, especially if you then use order flow. to confirm your entries. I think it can be very helpful. But no, we just use we use the Vine profile, okay? We use the Vine profile. What is the plan tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I will be back with the New York session again. I even got a lot of requests for the Asian session, which is actually very surprising because I didn't really expect a lot of people to be wanting to trade the Asian session. But yo, hey, listen, if you guys want that, then I'm definitely in for that because to me it's very useful sometimes to trade Asia as well. Because these sessions are crazy right now. Okay, gold Asia, wow. It's no longer what happened a couple years ago. No one cared about the Asian session a couple years back. No one cared. Now it's all about Asia. How the tide is turning, hey? How the tide is turning. It's so incredible. Okay. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do, G's. This is what I'm going to do for today here. I'm going to leave these limit orders open. Especially for the next couple hours. I would close them before the daily closure. I'm not going to... I never hold limit orders overnight, but I will hold them. The 4407, the 4382, and then a sell stop at 4335 in case I'm wrong. Because if I'm wrong, we'll most likely simply see the follow through all the way back down towards the lows again. So this is how we structure our stop loss, right? The stop loss is structured around a way where it's like, okay, if we're wrong, or if I'm wrong, then I do expect a large chance of follow through to the downside, right? So I don't want to be wrong, right? And then price still goes up, for example. So I need to have a good reason for my stop loss. I hope that makes sense. I want to have a stop loss at a point where I say, okay, if you get there, I do expect some sort of retracement, rejection, and follow through, right? Similar to how we traded on a Friday. So this is why I'm going to keep these orders there for today. Today was also a Trump day. Trump, Iran, Monday. We had a lot of things here on our mind right now. I do think that this was very, very good. I highly recommend you one more time, if you have the opportunity to do so as well, to watch the beginning of the stream, because we went through the data, okay? We went to Friday's idea, through the data. We also went to the actual fundamental data of why we believe that gold was going to bounce soon, as well as the dollar. I think it's all pretty good to go over this here, okay? Yeah, anyways, I keep these ones open here. We might actually reject her. The reason why I'm saying this is because the hourly closure is still, and has still, closed below that zone. It still has closed below, okay? So scenario number one is we pull back, and I'm gonna get towards the 4407 and the 4382, and then I'm gonna look for long, because it aligns with the swing, right? And the pullback and the undervaluation. We have seen undervaluations many times before and how accurate they are. I'll take that very, very serious. And then if price comes up and we don't get to our entry and we take out the daily highs, okay, and we then see weakness and we start to struggle and we break structure, yeah, then I do believe that shorting down is also a possibility for a larger move up here. But I'm not willing to short now because I don't feel comfortable shorting yet right here. I would love to see a sweep of the highs or taking out the daily highs or anything of interest, which makes a lot of sense to me, because we do bounce, and this is important, we do bounce from higher time frame support. Okay, I want you to pay attention to the higher time frame here. We do bounce from higher time frame support as well, and it's very unusual It's very unusual that gold drops 10% and then comes up 10% in one trading day. In one trading day, okay? That is unusual information. You all know why with all that news that came out later on. But hey, the big players are playing with us. Yeah, the big players are playing with us. So take that in account here. Manage your risk accordingly. And then I will be back tomorrow again. Hopefully directly in a trade. And more action. More action. But I do have clear scenarios right now in my mind, which I will follow up with. Okay? Tomorrow. And like I said, Friday we do the overall breakdown of the week. And what we actually have done the whole week. And how we looked at the market in the first place. And if we were right, if we were wrong. And go from there. I will start thinking about the Ace in session, G's. I'll think about it. And see what we can do here. Okay? Thank you very much. Hopefully to see you tomorrow again. Huge stream regardless. Super big stream here. Super big stream. Thank you guys for showing up here. And this is already the third week. The first day of the third week. So we're not even that long in the trading game again. Or in the streaming game again. So it's absolutely fantastic to be back live with you guys here. And hopefully give you free education for the next coming months. So you know that you can build on me, that you can trust me. And hopefully I can learn something from you guys as well here, which I can definitely see in the chat, because you guys are definitely you guys know what you're talking about. I don't see any ego in the chat. Don't see any weird G's. I think all the weird G's are somewhere else, not on this one, not on this channel. Okay? No ego is involved. Amazing. Thank you guys very much. Let me end with let me end the stream with that song. Where's that song, man? No. Yeah, that same song. Where's my song? Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. And good luck. And thank you, Trump, for today's prize action. We'll talk later. Peace. Smash that like button.